Are you thinking about buying MX bikes, but you aren't sure if it's the right game for you? Or maybe you have seen a million TikTok videos of this game and you're wondering if it's gonna live up to the hype. Or maybe you're a console nerd looking to make that leap over to PC and you're wanting to make sure MX bikes will be worth it. Well, today, I, REAPERDOC, a mid-pack pro player in MX bikes, will tell you everything you need to know about MX bikes and whether or not it's worth it in 2024. Let's start out with the good things about the game, and then we'll work into some of the drawbacks or some of the issues I have found with the game as a whole. But first off, let's talk about the physics. And boy, are these good. Man, the physics are just incredible. For the most part, they are extremely realistic, but they are still arcadey enough to make the game fun and not excruciatingly painful to play. That's right, I'm looking at you, MX Sim. Now, MX Bikes is realistic in the sense that it gives you that feeling, that immersive feeling that you're actually riding the bike, but it's arcadey enough where if you want to do something ridiculous and send, an absolutely gigantic jump, you're still able to do that. The game does an excellent job of connecting you with the bike and the bike to the ground. You truly do feel every bump, rut, kicker, and everything. And once you get the hang of this game, it is so intuitive and rewarding to play. I promise you'll never want to play anything else. MX Bikes is also extremely customizable. What I mean by that is the game is completely centered around player-created mods. This means you can head over to the MXB Mods website and find just about any graphics kit or just about any set of gear you could possibly think of. That's right, I'm talking helmets, boots, gloves, jerseys, any manufacturer of bike, enduro bikes, pit bikes, 435 horsepower bike, Harleys. You can literally find anything for this game and wear it or ride it. Now, while we're on the topic of mods, the tracks are really what make this game special, in my opinion. First of all, there seems to be an endless supply of free tracks, as well as a ton of pay tracks in the game that you can pick up for just a few bucks. To me, the tracks is what really makes this game better than your average dirt bike game, and it makes it something special. See, your average dirt bike game has, season passes where they drop 3 or 4 or maybe even 10 tracks a quarter. Well, MX Bikes is dropping 1, 2, 3 tracks a day, and most of the time they're for free. And this just means there are thousands upon thousands of tracks for you to play out there. Everything from the current year Supercross tracks that come out the day before the real Supercross races and motocross races, down to the local tracks that you would never think would end up in a video game. I'm from California, and there's a track over there called MMX that I used to ride all the time. MMX is not super popular. It's overshadowed by Hangtown and E Street. Well, you know what? Hangtown, E Street, and MMX are all in the game. It's just incredible. And to me, this is the real driving force behind what makes MX Bikes incredible. Racing in MX Bikes is also extremely fun. And yes, while it may have some issues with the netcode, which makes racing goofy at times, I have never enjoyed a game as much as MX Bikes because of the racing experience. Now, I used to race in real life for a long time, from about 4 years old up to 20 years old. And I got hurt and my brain doesn't quite work the way that it used to, and I needed a fix. I needed that dirt bike racing fix. And man, when I started playing MX Bikes, I found that fix. There is something really special about this game in the racing scene. When you get your first win in an online lobby, it is one of the coolest feelings you will ever feel because it takes so much time to get to that level where you're able to win. And then you just become addicted. Then you start to find out that there's a professional scene in this game, and you grind and you grind, and eventually you'll try and make your first pro race, and you probably won't succeed, and you'll realize, holy cow, the skill ceiling is so high. The racing experience does have some issues though. As I mentioned before, the netcode is pretty subpar and can lead to difficulty racing players, especially when you're very close to them and if they're on a high ping. Also, kinda like any game, but online lobbies can be full of trolls whose sole mission in life is just to ruin your day by taking you out. But man, if you can look past those few things, then racing in MX Bikes is top tier. Lastly, but surely not least, something that makes MX Bikes great is the skill ceiling. It seems like no matter how good you are at this game, there is still something to learn. Personally, I have over 5,000 hours in the game, and I still feel like I learn something new about the game all the time. I constantly feel like I put an insane lap down just to have it beat by like 10 seconds by some random kid that I've never seen before, and then I get to study and figure out why he's so good. the constant pursuit of being better is another reason I continue to come back over and over and over again to this game. Now, I've talked a lot about what makes MX Bikes great, but now let's talk about some things that you may not like about the game or that I think hold the game back a little bit. Well, remember earlier when I said the game was awesome because it was based off of player-created mods? Well, that is also probably one of its biggest pitfalls. See, the base game of MX Bikes is nowhere near worth the $35 price tag, but it is absolutely worth it with mods. But see, even the free mods come with their own price, and that price is complexity. MX Bikes doesn't have a seamless modding system like Assetto Corsa or iRacing, where you could just click a button and download the mod you want and have it pop up in the game. In MX Bikes, you have to use a third-party website, that's the MXB Mods, and then you have to use WinRAR to extract the files over into the correct location. Now, for seasoned PC users, you might be listening to this and being like, Doc, it's really not a big deal. I've been doing this all the time, my friend. But a lot, and I mean a lot of people really struggle with this. That's why the most popular MX Bikes videos are always mod tutorials. If you end up messing one little thing up, it can basically ruin your entire game. You won't be able to load into online lobbies, and sometimes you can actually get stuck in a constant state of game crashes where every time you load in, your game just crashes, and it can be really frustrating and difficult to figure out what the problem is if you aren't sure how to solve it. There's also a lot of pay tracks in the game. The tracks range from $1 to $2 depending on the skill level of the track creator or the detail of the track itself. Now, I personally don't think this is anything to be worried about. There's nothing wrong with this, as the track creators spend hundreds, if not thousands of hours meticulously creating these tracks for us, and I'm happy to spend the $1 or $2 to help support them and to continue that flow of tracks coming into the game. But I do understand that this topic can rub people the wrong way, and I just wanted to make you guys aware of that. But don't feel like that you're not going to be able to enjoy the game if you can't pay for tracks, because like I said, there are thousands and thousands of free, amazing tracks that you can get off of the mods website, and to be honest, most people play the free ones anyway, so it's really not that big of a deal. Another big drawback that I see that a lot of people have is MX Bikes is pretty hard. To be honest, it's very difficult. It requires a lot of patience and dedication to master, or even just make it around the track without crashing. Now, it's not quite as difficult as, say, MX Simulator, but it is significantly more difficult than MX vs ATV or any other arcade motocross game like that. Unlike MX vs ATV, you cannot pick this game up and just spin laps instantly. There's a lot more going on in the game. That's sitting and standing, rider lean left and right and forward and back. There's just a lot more going on that makes it really difficult to get the hang of. If you're looking for a game that you can play once a week with your buddies, I don't know that I could recommend MX Bikes for you, but if you are looking for a game that you want to work on and become better and increase your skill level in and be competitive with other people, this is the game for you. I'm telling you, this is the most rewarding game you will ever play. I've played a lot of video games in my 29 years, and there is something special about MX Bikes. If you're a motocross lover and a video game guy, and you're looking to put some time into a game and try to hone some skills, bro, this is the game. This is the game, trust me. I hope this video has helped you make a decision whether to buy MX Bikes or not. And after watching this video, if you do feel like you're going to buy MX Bikes, the first thing I suggest that you do after picking the game up is watch my beginner's guide to mods video. I promise it will save you a ton of headache, and it'll just get you straight into the game a lot faster. As always, boys, I love you and I hope that you have a blessed day. Peace.